A day after the chairman duo of the ruling Nepal Communist Party reached an agreement to move ahead with consensus, there were some interesting developments yesterday evening. First, it was Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli unexpectedly calling the meeting of the Constitutional Council, which ultimately had to be scrapped. In the turn of events, the proposal to revoke the Ordinance on the Constitutional Council Act was not even tabled at the cabinet meeting. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. The government yet to revoke the Ordinance on the Constitutional Council Act. The meeting of the Constitutional Council, summoned by the Prime Minister yesterday evening, scrapped. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli fast losing political hold and ethical ground in the face of a series of failed political cards. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says talks to reach a post-Brexit trade deal is in a serious situation. Warns a no-deal scenario is very likely unless the EU position changes substantially. And Bayern Munich striker Robert Lewandowski wins the Best Men's Player at the Best FIFA Football Awards. Manchester City defender Lucy Bronze wins the Best Women's Player Award. The government did not make any decision to revoke the Ordinance on the Constitutional Council Act. According to Balwatar source, the proposal of withdrawing the ordinance was not tabled at the cabinet meeting held yesterday evening. The meeting of the Constitutional Council, called by Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli earlier yesterday evening, was suspended following strong reservations from Executive Chairman Pushpakamal Dahal, who expressed his objection to holding the meeting. Executive Chairman Dahal had reached the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar after Premier Oli, who had agreed to withdraw the Ordinance on the Constitutional Council Act on Wednesday, summoned a meeting of the Constitutional Council earlier yesterday evening. According to Dahal's secretariat, the meeting was postponed following a meeting between the chairman duo. The Standing Committee meeting of the ruling Nepal Communist Party had decided to withdraw the Ordinance on the Constitutional Council Act, and the memorandum submitted by the Dahal faction at the President's office demanding for a special session of the Parliament following an agreement reached between both the chairmen. Likewise, President of the main opposition Nepali Congress, Sher Bahadur Deuba, had informed that he would not attend the meeting, while Chief Justice Cholendra Samsher Rana was also in a dilemma regarding his participation, since a writ on the ordinance was already registered at the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, Speaker Agni Sapkota's secretariat informed that the Speaker had not received any invitation for the meeting. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's recent political gambits have come under serious criticism. The latest debacle concerning the ordinance on the Constitutional Council has projected the Prime Minister as losing political grip and moral grounds. The Premier's actions as the country's executive head have been controversial, to say the least. We have more in this report.
Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, following his failure to strike the majority number in the Constitutional Council, introduced an ordinance on Constitutional Council to hold the meeting earlier this week. However, the ordinance did not even last 24 hours, as the Premier was compelled to pledge the withdrawal of the ordinance on Wednesday at the party's Standing Committee meeting. Prime Minister Oli tried to play another card by summoning the Constitutional Council meeting on Thursday evening prior to the cabinet meeting convened. The constitutional meeting failed to take place following reported objection from Executive Chairman Dahal. The Prime Minister in April this year too had brought the same ordinance on Constitutional Council, which later had to be withdrawn following stern protest from all quarters. The other ordinance on facilitating parties to split, introduced at the same time, was also withdrawn. These are just a few instances to support Prime Minister Oli's series of failed political gambits. The consequences have given way to the Prime Minister losing hold on national politics with dwindling ethical grounds.
प्रावधानलाई उल्लङ्घन गर्ने त्यसमाथि धज्जो उडाउने जुन काम गर्दै उहाँले आउनु भएको छ। अब यो हिसाबले हेर्दाखेरि मेरो विचारमा उहाँले संविधानले अवलम्बन गरेको व्यवस्थालाई ओन गरेको, त्यसलाई डिफेन्ड गरेको पनि देखिएन, अनि संविधानलाई कानुनलाई ओन गरेको, डिफेन्ड गरेको पनि देखिएन। त्यसलाई हामी संविधानमाथिको एउटा अफेन्स पनि भन्छ, एन अफेन्स टु द कन्स्टिट्युसन। अब त्यो हिसाबले हेर्दाखेरि त राजनीतिक र नैतिक रूपमा मलाई लाग्छ उहाँको जिम्मेवारीमाथि पनि धेरै ठुलो सङ्कट आए जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई। उहाँले जुन काम गरिराख्नु भएको छ त्यो सक्षमतापूर्वक गरिएको काम होइन, कानुन र संविधानको प्रतिकूलको काम हो। त्यस हिसाबले भन्दा कानुनी रूपमा पनि अब एक प्रकारको असक्षमता उहाँमा उत्पन्न भएको म देख्छु।
With two-thirds majority in the parliament, the Oli government could have achieved unprecedented progress in the fields of good governance, prosperity and living standard. On the contrary, the Prime Minister landed in a series of controversies, inviting flack from within and outside the party to the extent that 83 lawmakers from the ruling party staged a signature campaign to convene the winter session of the parliament. Every time the Prime Minister finds himself cornered in the party, he has tried to stage an escape through Ordinance card, bypassing democratic practices, which only suggests the Premier's lack of accountability to the Constitution and political integrity.
Nepal and Bangladesh have reached an agreement to import 50,000 tons of urea fertilizers based on the G2G method. Nepal's Agriculture Inputs Company and Bangladesh Chemical Industries under the Industry Ministry of Bangladesh signed a deal yesterday. As per the agreement, the Agriculture Inputs Company will procure the fertilizers at the rate of $259 per ton, which is comparatively cheaper. Director of the company, Bishnu Prasad Pokhrel, informed that Nepal will receive the fertilizers by the third week of January. Joint Secretary at the Agriculture Ministry, Kanchan Raj Pandey, and officials of the Agriculture Inputs Company had left for Bangladesh on Tuesday for the agreement. It may be recalled that Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had urged his Bangladeshi counterpart, Sheikh Hasina, to provide fertilizers on loan in September this year. However, the Bangladesh government refused to comply to the demand, citing it was a new practice. Following the cabinet approval, the Agriculture Ministry is procuring the fertilizers based on the G2G agreement. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the local residents in Kailali district what measures can be adopted to protect students, guardians and teachers from coronavirus infection at a time when the academic sector has started to reopen. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
सकेसम्म 2 शिफ्टमा 3 शिफ्टमा कसरी चलाएर हुन्छ उनीहरुलाई आधा विद्यार्थी कम हुने गरी सोशल डिस्टेन्स कायम हुने गरी राख्नु पर्यो।
आफ्नो बच्चाहरु स्कुल पठाउँदाखेरि सेनिटाइजर, मास्क, तातो पानी दिएर पठाउने,
मास्क लगाएर अनिवार्य स्कुल प्राङ्गण भित्र प्रवेश गर्ने र पढाउँदाखेरि पनि एउटा कस्तो भने शिफ्ट वाइज पढाउँदाखेरि एउटा बेन्चमा जम्मा 2 जना विद्यार्थीहरु राखेर पढाउँदाखेरि एउटा उनीहरुलाई संक्रमण बाट जोगाउन सकिन्छ।
बच्चाहरुलाई कसैलाई टच नगर्ने अनि आफ्नो घरबाट पनि सन्देश दिनुपर्छ।
पढाउँदाखेरि पनि टाढा टाढा राख्ने अनि विद्यार्थीहरुलाई आफूले अपनाएका जसै सेनिटाइजर भयो, मास्कहरु एकदम नियमपूर्वक लगाउन भन्ने।
विज्ञहरु केही समय क्लासमा गएर यो कक्षा समेत सचेतना सम्बन्धी कोरोना प्रभावको सचेतना सम्बन्धी कक्षा पनि लिदिने मान्छेहरु विद्यालय पुग्दिनु भयो भने अझ राम्रो हुन्छ।
And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. And here's the question: why have banks slashed interest on deposit? Your options are A, less loan transfer, B, to increase profit, and C, faulty policy. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news. Dave Watmore, the 1996 World Cup winning coach, has been appointed as the chief coach of the national cricket team. We have more in this report.
Watmore will arrive in Nepal in the first week of January next month with the responsibility of sustaining Nepal's one-day status and improved results in the World Cup qualifiers. Dave Watmore was born in Sri Lanka before emigrating to Australia as a child. A right-handed batsman and brilliant slip fieldsman, he scored prolifically in the Sheffield Shield for Victoria, going on to play 7 Test matches for Australia during the Packer era with modest success. He retired in 1988-89 to pursue a career in coaching. He masterminded Sri Lanka's famous World Cup win in 1996 and after a brief spell at Lancashire, where he saw them win a one-day double in 1998 and the National League in 1999, went back for a second term. His greatest challenge, however, came in 2003 when he took over as Bangladesh coach and immediately brought a new optimism and discipline to a team that had not won a single match for 4 years. There continued to be ups and downs in Watmore's coaching career. In 2005, Bangladesh under Watmore registered a memorable win over Australia at Cardiff, and the following year they gave a good account of themselves in a home test series against the same opposition. But they also struggled against Zimbabwe in the same year. At the 2007 World Cup, Bangladesh crushed India, helping to send their neighbours packing and qualified for the Super 8s. It wasn't enough to keep Watmore interested, and he quit at the end of the tournament. He was keen to get the India job vacated by Greg Chappell around the same time, but was instead offered a role in the country's National Cricket Academy, which he accepted. In 2009, he replaced John Buchanan as the Kolkata Knight Riders coach in the IPL, taking charge for the 2010 and 2011 editions before moving on to a national role with Pakistan in 2012.
And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.